وَثِمْحَا Zachor AMALEK Lo Tishkach, as we shall be reading in a couple of days' time in all Batei Knesset around the world. This is a very, very important and central mitzvah of the Torah. On the one hand, many people seem to realize this fact and specifically go to shul to hear it. But it seems to me that many people, nevertheless, do not really internalize what they are reading, what is being said.
Rabbi.
Yes.
Do you believe there is a Torah obligation to hear Parashat Zachor?
No, I do not think so. The mitzvah of the Torah is Zachor Lo Tishkach. The mitzvah of the Torah really is Limchot et Zechar AMALEK, as Rambam defines it explicitly in Ilchot Melachim u'Milhamot. Let me see if I can call it up very briefly. Rambam speaks in Ilchot Melachim u'Milhamot, Perek Hamishi, about Milhamet Mitzvah and Milhamet HaRashut. And then Rambam states here in Halacha Daled, Rambam refers to Mitzvat Aseh Laharim Shiva Amamim. This refers to the inhabitants of Eretz Yisrael, Eretz Canaan at that time. And then Rambam goes on to say, V'chem Mitzvat Aseh La'abed Zera AMALEK. The Mitzvah is La'abed. In order not that we do this, we are also instructed not to forget. So Rambam adds, Mitzvat Aseh, on top of the essential mitzvah, which is limhoth, to wipe out, to obliterate, to exterminate. U'misvat aseh lizkor tamid ma'asav hara'im va'arivato, kadei la'orer evato. So, and lo tishkach is the reverse side of that. So there are three mitzvot essentially here, but the essential mitzvah is to wipe out. It does not make sense that there can be a mitzvah to specifically read this from the Torah at any particular time. If a person studies the Torah, eventually one will come across that Parashat. That is obviously true. Just as one will come across Parashat Shekalim or Parashat Para. If one studies the Torah regularly, one will come across that mitzvah. Chazal clearly instituted the reading of these Arba Parshiot, that is, at these specific times, because of their timeliness, in order to remind and to encourage and to instruct people what they must do in the coming weeks. So you have Shekalim, which has to do with the fact that you're going to be asked very shortly to contribute your Mahasit HaShekel, and the same is to do with Parashat Zachor, and the same is for Parashat Para and Parashat HaHodesh. All these things refer to specific mitzvot. The mitzvah of participating in the Korbanot HaSibur in the Mikdash, the mitzvah of destroying Am Yisrael's enemies, such as AMALEK, the mitzvah of preparing for Korban Pesach, which requires that people not be Tmemeth and therefore prepare for this. And that is why we have Parashat Para, etc. All these mitzvot are there to remind us and to keep us focused on what we need to be focused. And even at a time when there is no mikdash, and therefore there is no mitzvah of giving a Mahasit HaShekel, and there is no mitzvah of para aduma. It could be organized, but we don't have such a thing at the moment. I think we know what the para aduma is, and I think such parot exist, and it's within our capability. But many people would say that there's no purpose, and they might be, generally speaking, correct, because if we're not able to perform the korban, then you don't need the para aduma lichora. It's also true that Korban Pesach, that Tumath Meth Dehoya B'Tzibur is overridden when a majority of Am Yisrael are Tumei Meth, and therefore, if all of Am Yisrael are Tumei Meth, or the majority, and it's not possible for everyone to become Tahor in time, then the Korban Pesach is to be brought B'Tumah. This is explicitly mentioned in the Mishnah. But without going into all of those details, there's the purpose of the Arba Parashiot. I think it's clear that it's not Minat Torah. I think the claim that it is Minat Torah is spurious. Rambam does not mention such a thing, for example. Neither do Chazal, neither do many other Rishonim. It's true in certain statements of some of the Tosafot, you cannot conclude and reach such a conclusion, but I think that is spurious. The ikar is to internalize the message and to remain focused on these things. In our times, Baruch Hashem, in many ways, the most immediate and most practical of these mitzvot is Mehiyat AMALEK, which our forefathers performed in a very comprehensive manner, nearly 2,500 years ago, in Persia and the environs. And there is much to be learnt with regards to the mitzvah of Mehiyat AMALEK by studying Megillat Esther. And perhaps that's one of the reasons why Chazal state that Megillat Esther ena b'tila le'olam, because one can always assume there will be Amalek type enemies also le'olam.